Okay, so we now have talked about Leaf 1. Let's talk about Leaf 2. Why was there a Leaf 2? What happened with Leaf 1?
Nothing was wrong with Leaf One. My battery did degrade. Uh,
How much?
I believe when I gave it back it was about 74%. So it was a pretty big degradation.
How long did you have the car?
4 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. It,
was that a defect? What was wrong? Did you ever find out?
I never asked because once I gave it back, it was sort of like I
And
don't care
how
anymore.
did that's only with 80 miles too? How did that
Yeah,
affect your range?
it was pretty bad. So that's one of the big reasons I gave back as well. Because I think I had like 50, 60 miles of range by the end of it. And so it was getting a little scary. There were times where like once I went to school, friends are like, hey, you want to go here? It's like, you're going to have to drive me and bring me back because there's no way I can go. You know, it's like my route was school and then coming right back.
Your car was becoming a clunker.
Yeah, yeah.
But I find that interesting. You had 70% degradation,
Hmm.
but only 50, you would say 40, 50 miles of range?
No, it was like 50, 60 miles.
50,
of
60
range.
miles
Yeah,
of range?
yeah.
So you had somewhere between probably maybe say 70, 80%
Yeah.
left.
Yeah,
Which
but it's
isn't
sort of
really
like
that bad.
yeah, but it sort of like took away from my reservation and like it was scary at that point.
It was unpredictable.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So Leaf 1, did it end because the lease came to an end or because of the battery, or both just collided together and it was convenient for you to?
Yeah, both sort of just collide together because my lease was actually extended. So my original lease was 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And when it was close to expiring, Nissan sent Leaf owners who were expiring an email saying like, hey, we'll extend your lease by a year and we'll pay you for 3 months of it if you just wait for the next Nissan Leaf to come out. Yeah. And so I think they were like trying to push it out. And they knew like, hey, a lot of Nissan owners, their lease expiring before they go to like the Bolt or the e-Golf or whatever. Let them look at the new Leaf. And so we accepted that offer to have the lease extended because again, the car was giving me no problems other than the battery degrading. And so
Did the degradation, did it happen all of a sudden?
no, it was
coming
throughout. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also very I used a lot of quick charges as well.
You think that had something to do with it?
I do. And one of the big issues with the Nissan Leaf is the air-cooled battery. Like it doesn't have any like decent thermal management or liquid cooling.
We'll talk about that with Leaf 2.
Yeah.
But one of the things, takeaway, I'm getting the impression from you with Leaf 1 is you can't be plugging in like a cell phone, really. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Is that the key?
Well, I think it's more to do with like quick charging. Like it was just because it does get the battery really, really hot, and you even feel like when you're unplugging it, it's like wow, there's heat coming out of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Yeah. And so if you don't have
Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to connect your either Leaf 1 or 2 to a supercharger?
a Tesla supercharger,
No, a supercharger. Oh, a supercharger, period. I know you couldn't do that at a Tesla station, but at any other station that has a supercharger.
yeah, I definitely quick charged a lot, like with
Okay.
those CHAdeMO
Yeah.
chargers.
Did you
yeah.
do that with Leaf 1?
Yeah, I did that a lot with Leaf One.
What was your experience with Leaf 1?
It was good. I mean, it charged up really quick, probably like 30 minutes or maybe even like 20 minutes
Does the
around.
battery get unusually hot?
It gets really hot. Yeah.
More than usual?
Yeah, definitely. And even like when you look at the thermal stuff, I remember one time I quick charged twice, and my temperature was almost on the red zone. And so it does not cool the battery effectively at all.
Wow. So let me ask you this. With Leaf 1, other than your running out of range episode that you turtled your way here, have you had any other fail-safe episodes with Leaf 1?
No.
That was it.
Yeah.
You know, let's finish up with talking about Leaf 1. What was your overall experience walking away from that car? Was it a positive experience?
Yeah, I mean, I went with Leaf 2, and so I definitely like the Leaf. I definitely love electric cars. I don't think I can go back to a gas car now. Just the convenience of it, the fact that like there's no maintenance. I don't have to go to a gas station to fill up. It's really, really nice. So yeah, I think my overall experience was a positive one.
We're going to talk about Leaf 2 in a second, but would you get another Leaf?
After Leaf 2?
Yeah, after Leaf 2.
My goals have changed, or like my what I prioritize has changed. And so It depends. I'd say it depends on what the next Leaf offers.
All right, we'll talk about that also.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's talk about Leaf 2. Leaf 2 is a 2018. It's a gorgeous gray color, charcoal gray colored Nissan Leaf 2018. It's the short range version. Tell us about your experiences with that. Why you purchase it as opposed to lease it, and why the short range model as opposed to the long range. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with the purchasing versus leasing.
Sure.
Basically, so there's two big tax incentives or credits. In California, if you get a electric vehicle, a battery electric vehicle, you get $2,500 cash. And then the second one's a federal credit, tax credit, and that's $7,500. The problem with the federal one is that it goes to the person who purchased the vehicle. And so if you're leasing a vehicle, the people you're financing from are the purchasers of the vehicle, so they're the ones that get the $7,500. And depending on what they want to do with that money is sort of like what the customer gets. So with my first Nissan Leaf, Nissan got the $7,500 when people would lease it, but they would sort of pass on that $7,500 right to you as lease credit. And so your price goes down anyways. They did a similar thing with the new Leaf, but instead of giving you the full $7,500, they only gave $3,000. And so I would get the $2,500 from the state, but only $3,000 out of my $7,500. Whereas if I purchased the car, I would get the full $7,500 plus the $2,500. So for the new Leaf, my lease was expiring because the year passed, the one that they extended. So I had to give my old car back. And at the time, the options I had, I didn't even have a long range option at the time. Leaf only had this model. And so I just went for it, and I went for a purchase just so I could get the full rebates.
Compare the two cars, Leaf 1 and 2. What do you like about them? What you dislike? Contrast and comparison, similarities?
I think similarities, they do drive the same. It does feel like the same car in terms of handling. I do like, because even before with my first Leaf, I had the base model, the S, and so I didn't really have a lot of the tech stuff. With the new one, I went with the middle model along with the tech package. So I get a lot more nicer things with this one. I never had like the navigation, Android Auto.
You have those
I have those things. And then I have like Pro Pilot, which is great to use in like traffic. And so
let me stop you there. Is that feature I was reading about with the adaptive cruise control? I mean, it's not as sophisticated as autopilot or Tesla, but it has some of those features.
Yeah, so it has adaptive cruise control, and it'll like maintain your lane for you. And so you just keep your hand on the wheel, make sure it's good. But like for stop and go traffic, it's really convenient to have. And then obviously like the range, the 150 miles, it's not like 300 miles or anything. But for commuting, I like all the range anxiety is gone. And if I need to like make some detours, it's not an issue. Yeah.
Do you have that one pedal braking feature?
Yeah.
And did you have that in 1? Did you have it in 2? What were the experiences in those cars? And tell us what you think about them. Think about it.
Yeah. So in the first one, or in every electric vehicle, you have regenerative braking, as well as like a lot. Like when you let go of the gas, you don't actually have to press the brake. It slows down a lot more aggressively than a gas. It doesn't cruise. So I did have it somewhat for the first one. It wasn't so much one pedal driving because it would slow down a little more when you let go of the gas, but nowhere as aggressively, and you definitely can't stop with it. It would always creep.
With Leaf 2, you can.
Yeah, with Leaf 2, so it has the same modes as Leaf 1 in terms of like the eco mode, which will like make it a little more aggressive. But they added a feature called e-pedal, where when you engage e-pedal, it's very aggressive regen, as well as it even kicks in the physical brakes once you get to lower speeds. And so I love the feature. I use it all the time.
Time, e-pedal?
Yeah. And it's interesting though, because like whenever I rent out the car, everyone turns it off. And I don't know why, because like it does take some getting used to, but like I go my whole trips without pressing the brakes once, and it's just so nice to have that feature.
Let me ask you this about e-pedal.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the reasons why they shut it off is you need practice, or you need to get used to it. Maybe is that what it is?
Yeah, so that's probably what it is. It's very uncomfortable at first. I think you have to sort of like, it doesn't take long for you to figure out how to gauge the distance and like using it. So Nissan actually brought a rep over before I got it. They brought a rep over and took me for a test drive in the car.
What, over where, here?
Yeah, over here.
To your house?
Yeah, to my house.
Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
At this level, you need to either get a Mercedes S-Class, a Rolls-Royce, or a Bentley to get home service for this kind of service that Nissan is giving.
Yeah.
So I want you to appreciate what it is Cameron is telling you. So tell us about this. Nissan came to your home.
Yeah.
And what did they show you? What did they do?
So yeah, they really wanted to push the new Nissan Leaf. Basically, I scheduled with a Nissan rep. They want to know like what time I'm free, and they brought over a car.
A demo car?
Yeah, and so it was a decked out Nissan Leaf, the SL with all the features and everything. They had someone in the car, and then I sort of just got in just like a regular test drive, and then we went off and we drove, and then she showed me like all the features of the car. They had like an iPad, so they were also asking like questions, like how do you feel about this feature? And so yeah, it was an interesting experience, but that's when I tested out the e-pedal. And I guess I wanted to like give a bit like of my experiences with it, so I didn't turn it off right away. At first, it was like obviously gets some taking used to, but after about 5 minutes, I got used to it. And so maybe that's it. People renting the car, they just feel it. It's uncomfortable. I'm gonna turn it off right away without.
This amazes me as to what Nissan has done for its Leaf customers. Have you ever shopped for a Chevy Bolt?
Yeah, we did go to a Chevrolet.
Was it a positive experience?
Yeah, they were nice. It was a lot more traditional though, in it.
You see, that's the problem. Yeah. I have a lot of readers, listeners, and viewers who have had horrible experiences with the Chevy Bolt. It's about a demo car that's in the back lot, way there hidden, you know, and to have Nissan come to your home with a demo car. I mean, that's just something. I have not seen that since I did security in New York for my Rolls-Royce and Bentley customers 10 years ago that I saw this kind of level of service. So it's amazing.
I definitely think it was because of like, it was a brand new car. And so it's like interested previous Leaf owners, they really wanted them to upgrade. Because I don't know if you can just go to a dealership now and they're going to send someone over to you. No, I don't think it's going to happen. So I definitely think it's sort of like them promoting their new car to existing Leaf owners, trying to get them to stick with Leaf. Yeah.
So have you had any problems with Leaf 2, the 2018?
No issues so far.
You swear by it.
Yep.
You take it to work every day?
I take it to work every day, yeah, Monday to Friday. Unless it's getting rented out.
Yes, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah. Have you taken it on any long distance trips?
I personally have. Well, I mean, I consider with the electric car, I consider going to LAX and back a long distance trip. And so,
Well, okay, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
We're in Anaheim, in a suburb of Anaheim. Yeah. And Anaheim, even though this is Southern California and LA is so huge with its sprawl, Anaheim is like within the LA lungeable area. It is about a 1 hour trip from LAX airport, south of the airport. Yeah. So when Cameron is telling us that it's a long distance trip, and I just made the trip myself, it is. Okay, so with that, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I can go to LAX and back. That's probably the longest I've taken it.
On a charge.
On one charge, yeah.
And not worry about you. So you can pick somebody up from LAX and bring them here.
Yeah. And
that's not bad.
It's not bad, no. And I have about 30% remaining after that, and so it's pretty decent. Yeah.
And you know, you think about it. You can do a couple of errands here in town, run to the airport, charge up there while you're waiting for them to get off the plane, and then go pick them up.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you could do that with a 150-mile, maybe even an 80-mile Nissan Leaf, wouldn't you say?
I probably would not try it with my old Nissan Leaf.
You wouldn't try it, but in a pinch, maybe
it is possible. If it's your last resort, it is possible.
Yeah, but you'd be running on fumes, and we don't want that.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a fun time. Yeah.
So has that been the furthest trip that you've taken?
Yes, I did have people who rented the car though take it to SD and back, so they'd quick charge over there to bring it back, but it wasn't on a single charge. Yeah.
So you purchased this car. You're planning on keeping it for a while, right?
Yeah.
You are aware that this is something that I point out to my followers. You take a really big, the incentives are very enticing
Mhm.
to purchase,
Mhm.
but if you're the kind of person that trades in your car every 3 to 5 years, I'd say, you're going to take a big hit, and you're aware of this.
Exactly. Yeah. I am.
So purchasing a vehicle
Mhm.
nowadays, regardless of what kind of drivetrain
Mhm.
it has,
Mhm.
it's about the long haul, and you're prepared for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I mean, with my experiences with the Leaf One, just in terms of like what I'm doing with the car, it wasn't much, and so I'm okay with going into this and you're like, all right, this is gonna be I'm driving until the battery gives out.
And
And
you're all right with that.
yeah, and one of the considerations we actually made were let's take degradation into account. Like worst case, let's say it's like 50%. That's what my old Leaf was at 100% battery.
Yeah.
And so that's something I thought of, like, can I live with that? I could. And so that's why I'm like, all right, even worst case, the battery degrades at the same level as my old Leaf. I'm okay with that range.
Well, Cameron, stick with me. I'm going to be showing you and everyone else battery tray services where, and I've talked about this in the last episode at the Orange County Auto Show. I made reference to it, where there will be battery tray services like Lee Miles, where you'll be able to bring your car in, your electric car, and upgrade your battery to the same one or even a better one that has a longer range, and you will actually have cooling options that the battery tray service will give you. And we'll talk about that in future episodes. So you now have had the car for about a year now, is that correct?
Yeah, a year and a half.
Offhand, do you remember what the odometer mileage is around?
It's 15,102.
Wow, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Average low.
Yeah.
For, and where you're at now with degradation.
I have not checked my batteries level.
But there's nothing that off the radar that
No.
would,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you it's safe to say you're pretty sure that you're within margins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And that concludes part 2 of our series on Nissan Leaf. Coming up on the next episode of Sergeant Al's Traffic Ticket Blog, we're going to actually now go take a road test with Nissan Leaf. Cameron is going to introduce us to the vehicle, and then I'll take it out on my own from a trip from Anaheim, California to Newport Beach to test the vehicle and see what it is like. That's coming up on the next episode of Sergeant Al's Traffic Ticket Blog. I'm Al Castro. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for being with me. I'll see you next time.